Having observed classes in private schools in New York City, I can say without a doubt that the students in the Humanities program are more than a match for the work and the thinking, the discussion, and the engagement that's going on in those rooms. In the Humanities class, we use a variety of supports and scaffolds to ensure that all students have access to the text, and not just a cursory understanding, but a deeper, thoughtful understanding of what's going on in the text, and especially the big ideas. We use a lot of stop and write and think and write opportunities, which gives the teacher a chance to look over their shoulder and see exactly where their thinking is going. And the more we can break it down into smaller moments between groups or partners, I think the more investment we get from the students, which gives them a greater stake in what's going on during the discussion. They think they're kind of getting away with something by just reading stories, when really what we're doing is looking at, the history of humanity in a certain way. In 5th grade, the students were reading an adaptation of Olaudah Equiano's 1789 slave narrative, which is significant because it was the first ever published narrative by someone who had been enslaved. The teaching point for the class was to have the students decide which of the 3 conversions for Equiano's narrative they felt was the most powerful, and then they were to find evidence in the text, and they essentially had a large class debate where they took a side of whether it was literacy, Christianity, or freedom, found text evidence, and then argued back and forth about which one was the most powerful conversion narrative and which narrative gave him the most credibility as a witness. So what we're gonna do today is kind of make a choice. Reread that question to yourself. You have to pick one. Stick with it. How do the conversions, Christianity, literacy, freedom, how does that prove that he's reliable? Why don't you turn and talk to remind each other? 30 seconds.
Why I chose freedom is because Christianity and literacy are not as important, because people won't really care if he's a Christian or if he knows how to read and write. And what he was mainly talking about in his story is how he wants to be free.
If you don't show that you're Christian like everybody else, then they'll think that your book is not so important and they could continue doing slavery.
So using the religion. The culture of civil disagreement that we foster in the humanities class is key to success in high school and especially in college. You don't get spoon-fed ideas. You have to go home, do the reading, do the thinking, and then articulate your ideas in class. And that's exactly our expectation every day for the students.
Achilles, what I could think was Achilles too, because he basically is like the full definition of hero. He has courage, he has ability, he knows when to be respectful when he needs to be, and he has a lot of power.
I'm kind of conflicted with my thinking. Achilles had a little bit of
the students love these texts, and they are more than capable of immersing themselves in these critical stories. And I have found that they make connections that I didn't even foresee in my planning, and they push each other in ways that I did not even plan for when developing the lessons. They make connections across their own lives, into popular culture, and even into the work of other classes. And so when I hear someone say, "Oh, these students can't handle it," I say to myself, you obviously haven't tried.